As you move forward into retirement, building an ideal retirement portfolio becomes a very important focus. It becomes crucial to create a sustainable portfolio with just the right mix of stocks, bonds, and passive income. Fasten your seatbelts, folks. This is going to be a good one. When we are thinking about a retirement portfolio, we have to take many things into consideration. There needs to be safety, sustainability, and enough passive or growth income to supplement your CPP, OAS, GIS, and any other sources of income that you may have. The contents of any one retirement portfolio is going to be different, as they can be very personalized to each of our individual needs. Also, the risk profile of one senior to the next can be very different, and this will also impact greatly the percentage of stocks versus fixed income. As a general rule of thumb, fixed income assets like bonds and GICs offer considerably more stability compared to stocks and ETFs. On the flip side, stocks and bonds have a greater potential to provide a bigger return, especially when you're looking at passive income. We will be looking at factors such as risk profile, expected lifespan, and financial needs as we put together what a typical retirement profile should look like. There is no one perfect portfolio, and hopefully after this video, you'll have a better idea of how to personalize yours to meet your version of the golden years. Join the conversation. Let me know in the comments if you have a plan already in place for your retirement. Your participation is well appreciated. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date on future content, and a huge thank you for that click. Not that long ago, there was a simple formula for setting up your retirement portfolio in terms of how much fixed income and stocks you should have. That rule was to simply take your age and subtract it from 100, and that was how much of your portfolio needed to be in stocks and ETFs, while the remainder was your allocation to fixed income. So with this rule, at 65, you would need to have 35% of your portfolio in stocks and 65% of it in fixed income. That, of course, is a very conservative portfolio. In this case, if you are able to receive a 5% return from your fixed income and a 10% return from your stocks and bonds, let's see what that does if we have an investment portfolio of $100,000. That $100,000 portfolio would return you $3,250 each year for your fixed income and $3,500 for your stocks. So that would work out to just over $560 a month, in addition, of course, to all of your other supports. Each year with that system, you would see 1% more in fixed income and 1% less in stocks. Thus, the monthly amount would decrease a wee bit every year. So at 70, you would only have about $540 per month. The major downside to this system is that it does not consider that people are living much older these days. As a result, a modified version of the system does not use 100, but rather it uses 120. So at 65, you would have 120 minus 65, or a percentage of 55% in stocks, and of course 45% in fixed income. For that same $100,000 investment, you are all of a sudden receiving an average of $645 per month. These, of course, are your more conservative retirement plays. They are good for sure, though always keep in mind, the return I used for the stocks is the S&P average over the last 20 years. As a result, some years you receive much more, and some years, like, well, last year in the bear market, you may have struggled more. That, of course, all depends on how you structured your portfolio. There were some stocks in the bear market that did really, really well, so if you were lucky enough to have them in your portfolio, it wouldn't have been that much of a struggle. Covered call ETFs have been gaining in popularity, and some of them have been absolutely great in retirement funds. Passive income can be a rock star, but it is not the only way to get some funds from your investments. One other strategy to gain income from your portfolio is to sell some of your stocks. If you only take a percentage of your gains each year, you can still grow your portfolio so the amount next year is even more, and this brings sustainability to your portfolio. If you are pulling money out, you just don't want to be shrinking it because you don't know how long you need your portfolio to last. Before we go any further, we do need to talk about your TFSA versus your RRSP. Anything in your TFSA is not going to create taxable income, which means that if you have most of your passive income flowing out of that account, it is not going to impact your taxes or your OAS or your GIS when it comes to qualifying or clawbacks. Unfortunately, anything you do pull out of your RRSP does count as income and will impact your taxes, your OAS, and your GIC. The nice thing is that you do not have to touch your RRSP until after your 71st year, when it turns into a RIF, and then it forces you to make withdrawals. If you need to pull cash out to make ends meet each month, in addition to the passive income flowing out of your TFSA, it is good to know how much income space you have before it will impact your GIS threshold. So for example, if you can safely add $500 per month to your income and need that money to make ends meet, then I would suggest removing it from your RRSP and take the tax hit. This does two things. It allows your TFSA to keep growing, and it reduces the income after 71 when it becomes an RRIF. Typically, seniors do not spend as much money once they get older, so that income could be better served when you are newer to the retirement game. Also, if you don't need it and you have room in your TFSA, you can always move some of it there if you want to, or it's perfectly okay to just leave well enough alone at the same time. You can go even more into risky territory if it aligns with your overall risk profile. The upside is that you can really increase your average income from your investments, but that downside is that in years where the market is underperforming, it will hurt and may result in you being forced to pull out some assets at a loss to make ends meet. If that is your situation, then I would really caution you from taking on too much risk. For fixed income, you are normally looking at bonds, maybe even bond ETFs, though some investors will not include them as fixed income as they have some volatility attached to them. Right now, one of the favorites when it comes to fixed income is GICs. At the time of recording this video, over at EQ Bank, which is the bank I use, the best return on GICs is 5% for the 1 year, 15-month, 2 years, and 27-month GICs. It means that you'd have to go in after, for example, 27 months and then look and see what the best deal is at that point if you want to still continue with a GIC. For the stock side, it really boils down to how much income you want. You can play entirely for passive income, or you can add in some total return stocks to get moderate passive income with moderate growth. The total return stocks can be very lucrative, especially when we move into a bull market. I think when it comes down to just how you are going to fill up your stock side, it boils down to just how much time do you want to babysit your portfolio. If you are looking for mostly hands-off, you can be thinking more about ETFs instead of individual stocks. However, call ETFs can bring a lot of passive income if that is your need. We will, of course, dive into some of the best ETFs for a retirement portfolio in a future video. I think that could be a lot of fun. If you want more future retirement content, then be sure to let me know in the comments below, as I do try my best to deliver on what you guys want. Keep the learning going. Watch my video on 2023 Growth Superstars, linked on the left, or test YouTube's recommendation skills by checking out the video on the right. Your choice will decide the winner. See you in the next video.